or love them, EVs, they're fun. And they tingle your insides just as good as any dyno juice powered car. But if we look at all the pluses associated with electric cars, there's one thing that they are not. That is light. Too bad I don't like my cars like I like my mom's. Heavy. But what if you could take all the good things that come with an EV and pull the poundage down a little bit? Well, that's exactly what the engineers at Lotus have been thinking, and today we're gonna figure out how they're putting electric cars on a diet. No more cookies for you, Lotus.
Huge thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring today's video. That's right, sir. Everyone watching has signed up. Bye-bye. All right. That was Mr. Nord on the phone, and he's so happy you all downloaded NordVPN. Wait, what? What do you mean you're not taking your online safety seriously? Guys, if he finds out, I'm in big trouble. Please, you gotta protect your online privacy today by downloading NordVPN. It's easy to use and keeps your browser safe behind a wall of high-powered encryption. Stay hidden by choosing from over 5,200 lightning-fast servers in 60 countries. And don't worry, NordVPN isn't just another VPN. They've got a new feature called Threat Protection to give you even more comprehensive security against malicious ads, harmful websites, and it even blocks trackers. Speaking of trackers, NordVPN doesn't collect, share, or do any tracking whatsoever. So you can safely Google, are Jeremiah and Job the same person, without anyone ever knowing. So don't wait, download it today on Windows, Android, iOS, macOS, and even Linux. And the best part is, it's all risk-free thanks to Mr. Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Get our exclusive NordVPN deal by visiting nordvpn.com/donutnordvpn. Now let's get back to the show.
Lotus recently announced its plans to roll out an all-new electric lineup starting in 2026. But for a company whose entire ethos is built upon adding lightness, electric cars are putting their belief system to the test. EVs ain't no skinny boys like my boy Nolan. Oh no, they're freaking honkers. And even sporty electric cars like the Model S weigh in at about 4,500 pounds. That's 1,000 pounds heavier than Nolan's Mustang. But thankfully for Lotus, they aren't new to the electric game. Tesla's Roadster, that's the car that Elon Musk literally put in space, was built on a Lotus Elise platform. And Lotus's new experiment, the Lotus Evija, is intended to be the world's fastest electric production car with 4 electric motors producing a total of 1,972 horsepower. 1972, that's a year. That shouldn't be a horsepower. And of course, it is light. While electric cars like the Rimac Nevera tip the scales at a burly 4,700 pounds, the Evija comes in at a relatively svelte 3,700 pounds. The problem is that's still not light enough for Lotus. So what's the solution? Solution is Lego, or the automotive version of Lego, in this case, Leva. That stands for Lightweight Electric Vehicle Architecture, and it's aiming to change the way we look at electric cars. So in typical Lotus fashion, they've taken every aspect of what makes an electric vehicle special. The huge amounts of power, the weight distribution, and the unique layout possibilities, and they simplified it. The Leva project is Lotus's take on an EV chassis, a modular design that incorporates several wheelbases, battery layouts, and electric motors. And it's based around a rear subframe that Lotus claims is 37% lighter than its last internal combustion car, the
Amira.
So the purpose of the Leva system is to allow for multiple configurations by having the ability to swap in and out various parts to meet the car's needs. You want more motors? Yeah, sure, throw an extra motor in there. You need a longer wheelbase to add an extra seat? Not a problem. You want to change up the battery location? Well, you can have a traditional chest battery behind the seats, or you can have a slab battery underneath the floor. Leva allows for a more simple approach to building multiple models. And that's a pretty big deal for low volume manufacturers like Lotus and Alpine. It gives them the ability to design and build multiple entirely different models without having to independently develop a platform for each. Now on the flip side, this system necessitates some pretty wild changes to standard EV design that we may see take over how the big boys in the EV market make cars, aka Tesla, GM, Ford even, you know, the big boys. Now it's no surprise that existing EV batteries would get in the way of a system that's modular. If you're moving your battery all over the place, you can't just use any old battery. So Lotus has designed an all-new battery pack to be used with this platform that allows for both flat and stacked configurations, meaning that you can use the same battery for both a two-seater sports car configuration or a longer wheelbase SUV at 400 volts and at 800 volts with minimal changes. Lotus says this new battery maximizes gravimetric and volumetric energy densities through advanced integration. There's a lot of words right there. That is just an over-the-top way of saying it makes better use of the amount of energy the system contains in relation to its mass and volume, thanks to how efficiently it's put together. Now, with a fancy new battery like this, you can imagine that a whole new method of analyzing battery health will be needed. So Lotus designed their own computer-aided engineering tools that closely monitor the high voltage tray and cooling system within the battery. Computer-aided engineering, or CAE, is when you use software to simulate the effects of different conditions on a given design or product. So you can play with simulated loads and constraints to find breaking points, flaws. Any variable you want to test, you can do it. These virtual prototypes are called digital twins. I, in fact, have an actual twin, and I absorbed him in the womb. Lotus's virtual innovation isn't limited just to figuring out how their battery works. Oh no, they've even gotten into digital casting. They've used this digital twin to model casting processes. They've determined all the material properties and structural performance of the castings under crash and extreme loading conditions, all with just a computer. So as you can imagine, going this route as opposed to building real-world prototypes is saving Lotus a lot of time and a lot of money. Which makes sense, right? Because you can do everything virtually these days. You can buy mansions that cost more than actual mansions, plots of land, art, currency, clothing for your digital self, cars for your digital self. So why not have digital crash tests? You know, because everything is in the metaverse. Nothing is real.
We're all just a bunch of ones and zeros now.
Thanks, Zuck, you This is all great and futuristic, but the L in LEVA stands for lightweight. So let's get into the meat and potatoes here. Where is Lotus looking when it comes to shedding pounds? The rear subframe of LEVA uses a high-strength, high-ductility aluminum alloy. This means that the metal is very, very strong, but still able to be molded into unique shapes without worry or failure. And it's manufactured via a revolutionary low-pressure die casting process designed to produce higher quality metal. So in traditional casting, liquid metal is poured into a mold and allowing gravity to do the work. In die casting, the metal is injected via pressure rather than gravity. The advantage of that? You have a higher quality part. If you want to know more about the casting process, we did a whole video on it. Click right here. Now, because that metal is injected under pressure, it's more uniform throughout the cast, resulting in low porosity and reduced oxide formation. So you have less microscopic holes and cavities throughout the piece, meaning less chances for corrosion and impurities that would lead to failure when it becomes stressed. Thank you, science. Even better, Lotus is making this new setup commercially available. Alpine and Renault, they're already on board, and more manufacturers are likely to follow suit. Many electric and hybrid vehicles today roll on retrofitted platforms, old gasoline vehicle chassis that have been modified to accept the electric drivetrain. And this is less than ideal from an engineering standpoint. Sure, it can be done. Oh, you can do it, but it'll never be as good as when you just design it from scratch. So this means that in the future, upgrading your electric vehicle's batteries or EDU could be faster than putting a new engine in your old Volkswagen.
Last night I had a dream where I was on this ranch. There are horses everywhere. Not just regular horses. Big, beautiful, sturdy, buff horses. That place, it's called Buff Horse Ranch. Now, unfortunately, that was just a dream. But these shirts we made are 100% real and 100% cotton. Available now at donutmedia.com.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of B2B. If you want to see more nerdy science content, click that like button and the subscribe button. If you got any ideas for some B2Bs that you want to see us kind of nerd out on, leave a comment down below. I read the comments still. I go through those. I see what you guys are saying. If you don't catch me in the comments, DM me on Instagram at Jeremiah Burton. Follow me there. Follow us on Donut at Donut Media. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. And until next week, bye for now. And it's based around a rear subframe that Lotus claims is 37% lighter than its last internal combustion car, the Evija. Evija. Oh, God damn it. I should have taken that class. I should. I wish I wasn't born with stupid genes. I wish I wasn't born with the dummy pronunciation gene. Thanks, Dad. Maybe I got it from my mom, though. Who knows?